Welcome back once again with Visti Larsen, and now we're going to work on conjoined planets. You've seen the first part. If you haven't, please do see the first part because it'll bring you a very good amount of clarity on what is to follow in this video. Over to you now, Visti.
Thank you. And so now we are going to be looking into the actual conjunctions of planets. And I know this is what takes most precedence when people study the topic. So I'm going to share where we have come to so far. And so here we are. We're getting into the actual planets conjoined. And so to begin with, to explain how planet conjunctions work, I have to give a few small details that will be useful. And this will help clarify some points. This applies to any type of conjunction, all right? Any type, whether we're having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planets, if you're adding nodes in conjunctions. The principles stay the same that I've explained here. Planets conjoining will share each other's indications and results, especially in dasha. This one is interesting. 2 planets are joining. Let's say 7th Lord is Mangal and it is joined Chandra. All right? So because 7th Lord is joined Chandra, Chandra dasha will be more likely to give the marital event.
Okay.
Yeah. Similarly, let us say Chandra is 10th Lord, joined that same Mangal. So because 10th Lord is Chandra, Mangal dasha will give results of the 10th Lord and give work, job, all that stuff.
Right.
So when people hear this, they say, of course, Visti, that makes sense. All right? But then it'll become more interesting when I add 3 planets conjoining.
Yes.
Or 4 planets conjoining. Then it gets interesting. Okay? So now, their lordships, conjoining planets, lordships, will cause different yogas to manifest. In case of a doubt, the stronger lordship will dominate. Okay?
Okay.
So a planet can lord 2 signs, all right? But not both. It may not be that both signs are coming to 4 in the dasha.
Right.
So some steps to attain a stronger lordship. Let's say Mangal, it lords Mesha and Vrishika. Now, if Mangal is in Mesha, then it'll of course give results of Mesha. If it is in Vrishika, it'll give results of Mesha. So placed in that same sign, it'll give its results. But let's say Mangal is in Mithuna. So then will it give Mesha or Vrishika? Which one will it give? Now, one way of deciding is, if there are more planets in Mesha, then Mangal will give more planets, more results of Mesha. In fact, will give the results of Mesha. If there are more planets in Vrishika, it'll prefer to give that. Small tidbit now. Let's say a person is Mesha Lagna, all right? And Mangal is in Vrishika. Is that Mangal going to support the Lagna anymore? It won't. If a person has Mesha Lagna with Mangal and Vrishika, do not give them a gemstone to make Mangal stronger, because they'll get more sick.
Okay.
I can say this because although Parashara states the Lagna Lord is always Yoga Karak, the dilemma is Mangal being in a sign of Vrishika, 8th house, instead of Mesha Lagna or any other house. Because of that, it is going to support the 8th house more. And you need to not give a gemstone of Mangal, you need to give a gemstone to take Mangal out of its position. Okay? So what we traditionally do is we try to give the Ucha Natha gemstone, which is a bit difficult for Mesha Lagna, because that is Shani stone. So this is not something we prefer. But similarly, if a person is having Rishabh Lagna with Shukra in 6th house, you have to give yellow sapphire, otherwise they will continue to have stomach problems. Yeah. Small tidbits which come from this.
Yeah.
All right? Small tidbits, but very relevant.
They're not small. There's something we ignore altogether, and then we decide, why are we not getting results? We're not getting results because of these small things.
Because of the planets may not be supporting. Okay? Now, if a planet aspects its own sign, it will support that own sign more by Graha Drishti. Okay?
Right.
So Mangal and Tula will prefer to give results of Mesha. Because it aspects Mesha by Graha Drishti.
But it's like, say supposing Mangal is it's a Rishabh Lagna. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's a Scorpio Lagna. It's a
Yeah.
Vrishik Lagna. Mangal is placed in the 6th house.
Yeah.
Say Mesh Lagna, but it is aspecting its own house, Scorpio. So this.
So then you go to step 1. Then you go back to step 1. It is placed in Mesha, so it doesn't matter which it has drishti on. Okay.
Oh, thank you for the clarification. That's a beautiful.
Yes. And
So it's
in fact, Vrishika Lagna Mangal in 6th house is a big problem. Because Mangal has become enemy. I'm sorry, you were saying?
I've seen that. I've seen that for somebody, and then we say the Mangal is very strong, but then it invites different kinds of problems into the person's life.
Yeah, yeah. It is a very problematic position, which is peculiar because we have these standard principles which tell us Lagna Lord is always auspicious, but not in these cases. All right? Now, it's like somebody axing their own legs. Okay?
Yes.
And since that exists, that must also be depicted in charts, right?
Right.
Now, so this was aspecting the sign. And then we found that example, if it's in, let's say, Vrishika Lagna Mangal in Mesha, it's also aspecting its own sign, but it's placed in own sign also. So this one takes precedence. Okay, that's also why the order is that like this. Now, finally, the last one. Let's say Vrishika Lagna Mangal in Mithuna, 8th house. Who is it supporting? Let's say there are equal number of planets in Mesha and Vrishika. That means we've covered step 2 over here, right? So then, step 4. If a planet is placed in an odd sign, it will support its even sign more. If it is in an even sign, it supports its odd sign more. So Mangal in Mithuna for Vrishika Lagna will support the Lagna because it's in an odd sign Mithuna supporting even sign Vrishika, like that. All right. So this will be useful regardless of whether there are conjunctions or not. This is just to help you decide which house will it give results of more. Okay. And then a final rider. In case of one of the conjoining planets being in Parivartana, then first exchange the signs of the 2 planets, then treat the results of Dasha Yoga, etc. Oh, this one nobody likes. Nobody likes this principle, but if you don't apply it, you will get into trouble. Okay? Because you will hit a roadblock and you'll see, goodness, how come I'm not getting what is expected? So this one is a tricky one, but I'll explain it in a chart. Okay, so let's try that. I've taken the same chart that we explored earlier. I do this a lot. I take one chart and I explain all the details, lest that we leave something uncovered. So we're going to do this with also this chart. Now, in this distinct chart, I notice that Buddha, Surya, and Shani are in Vrishabha. Okay.
Right.
And distinctly, Chandra is in Maga. Now, normally we would just read that these 3 planets are conjoined. But have you ever heard of a graha not loading its Mul Trikona sign? That's an odd one, right? Every other graha loads its Mul Trikona sign, but Chandra's Mul Trikona is Vrishabha, and nobody talks about its lordship. Okay? So, I was taught, Visti, apply Chandra as loading Vrishabha. If I do that, Shani and Chandra are in Parivartana.
Yes.
So I have to now reverse. I have to wipe out this Shani and move over here to Makara and wipe out this Chandra and put over here in Vrishabha. Okay? And by doing this, I'm doing it the easy way. All right? There is also a more complicated way, but I will not share that today. All right? Now, what will it look like then? Here's the same chart. I reversed the planets. I did a bit of creative drawing here. Right? Yes. Admittedly, I made them blue in the North Indian. I forgot to make them blue in the South Indian. So you must excuse me, but I have exchanged the planets. Okay. Now I'm going to imply that the results that are coming are of Chandra, Surya, and Buddha conjoined. Okay. Right. So practically, this is how it'll look. But now you have not learned the results yet. So I have to show how the results are going to be in the next slides. But does this make sense?
Yes, it makes great sense. And yes, this is not something that we've done ever. So this makes a great deal of sense.
Yes. Now, I'll just add something. Okay. So the expectations I would have for her is that she must have a very strong Saturn. Anybody who gets into any form of the entertainment industry will have a strong Saturn. This doesn't mean you'll be a dancer. You could be an actor. You could be a dancer. You could be somebody who is a director, a movie director. You could be somebody who is part of the movie set. You could be a stuntman. You could be anything within the entertainment industry. Your Saturn must be very strong. Because you know what Saturn loves? Saturn loves Libra. Party.
It loves?
He
Libra.
loves party in Libra. He is hardworking, but he loves Libra. So who is it who enjoys Libra the most? Who enjoys entertainment the most? Shani. Okay? And you know what happens when people party? Sometimes they get a bit frivolous.
Yes.
Okay? So
Yes.
Shani is responsible for that. He is a hard worker. Nothing said there. And the way that they slave from day till next day. They don't have restrictions on hours. It's not like all of us who want to have a regular 8 to 5 job. Shani means what 8 to 5? The movie is not done yet. Okay? They really mistreat people in that industry. Okay? So Shani they will become an absolute slave in such cases. You know, and then part of the work is actually to attend the midnight parties.
Yes.
All right. So that's how Shani does his work. That's how he makes that happen. Shukra should also be associated from a different perspective, but we would expect a very strong Shani as well. Okay, because he's the one who gives the Ayana Bala in that direction. Okay. Yes. So we see Shani has now become very strong in Lagna and Makara. Yes. You will notice that women who have the tint of Shani and Shukra, somehow or the other, they also become very, very attentive of their appearance. All right? Okay. So you would expect something like that in this case. They don't have yoga with each other distinctly, but Shani is very strong. So by nature, you will see Shani very strong. Then it means there is some very strong indications of Shukra in the chart as well, because his Uchanata is
Libra.
Shukra sign. Recall, this is Mahapurush Yoga. Right.
Yes.
This is Mahapurush Yoga. So Shani is acting like Sasa Mahapurusha, and who needs to help him? His Uchanata, Shukra. Exactly.
Which we saw in the last episode or last of our video. And if I may say so, Saturn after the adjustment, Saturn and Venus are both aspecting the 10th house of career.
Yeah. Exactly. So it sounds peculiar what we have done. The planets were not in those signs, and we have reversed the signs. All right? So, okay. So that was our baby step into this, that we needed to cover this so that we don't get confused later on when we apply some conjunctions. So this we have now. So now we have to learn about the actual conjunctions. Now, 2 planets when conjoining. So 2 planets conjoining. Now, for this, I teach the principle to help people remind themselves. When 2 planets are conjoining, the saint is blessing the sinner. Okay? So the principle here is that there is a planet which is more benefic than the other planet, who is more malefic by nature. And so when these 2 planets join, the malefic, the more malefic, the less benefic planet, in other words, is becoming more auspicious. And the more benefic planet is becoming less auspicious. So for that, we have to learn about the beneficence table. And this is the beneficence table. This is what Parashara states, in fact.
Right.
Guru is the most benefic. Shukra is very benefic. Okay? Then comes Buddha. Chandra is a bit wishy-washy because of the pakshas. If he becomes full moon, he can come up over Mercury. But in essence, he's over here. Then the sun shows up. By the way, these are the 3 most benefic, and Parashara says if they're in Kendra or Kona, their devatas will save you. Arishta Banga Adhyaya. Okay. So they're the best. And who do we find from here? Guru. If Guru is in Lagna, he says worship Trishuladhara Shiva. All right. Shukra, he doesn't tell us what to do. He just says it's good to have Shukra in Kendra. Then we in the tradition teach worship Devi. All right, Durga. She will protect you if Shukra is in Kendra or Kona. If Buddha is in Kendra or Kona, Vishnu will protect you. He doesn't mention others. Except Lagnesh. He says Lagnesh in Kendra will save you. The meaning of that is Gayatri, but then it requires Diksha or baptism. Like you get baptized in the church, then you can do the Holy Father prayer and your Lagnesh will protect you. All right? Yeah. Now, Chandra is then coming next. So he's not as benefic as the others. Surya is then the first among the malefics, but he's not the worst malefic. He's the least malefic because he's Krura but Sattvic.
Yes.
Mangal comes next. Mangal is terribly malefic. But he's nothing compared to Rudra himself in the form of Ketu. All right? Then comes Rahu, the mischief maker, whose job can only be outdone by Shani himself, the most malefic in the chart. And if we remind ourselves of this order of beneficence and maleficence, then it's going to be easy to read planetary conjunctions.
Right. Can I ask you a question here, Visti? Supposing you just said it's if Jupiter and Venus and Mercury are in Kendra or Kona, then we are blessed. Especially if they're in Kendra, the chart is blessed. So if somebody
automatic blessing if in Kendra, if in Kona, you need to worship the Devata.
Okay.
Blessing.
So supposing somebody has it all in the 3, 6, 8, 12 houses.
Yes.
So in that case, what happens?
Okay, so it means that these solutions to their problems are not easy to find. Okay, because dushtanas are not easily accessed, right? It's hard to go there. If you have to go to the 8th house, what must you do? Which activity? You have to go to the bathroom over there. So how do you find the Devata in the bathroom? The Devata won't show up, okay? But maybe it is telling that the solution to some of the problems is through some type of detoxification, like panchakarma. Okay? In the 6th house, it means that it requires a person to stay very pure, that a means to the solutions are to stay very pure. But the essence of which is it's hard to find a solution. Okay? Hard to find a solution. And we have charts like that where it's hard to find a solution to the problem.
Yes.
It is so. Yes. So it's not an easy chart. But we do say if Guru is in 6th house, the person will be very pure. If Buddha is in 8th house, they will be debt-free. And if Shukra is in 12th house, they will have a lovely intimate life.
Yes.
Okay? Family life. So the benefics are not leaving us hanging. They are not. But it's difficult to find solutions if they are in Dushtana.
Okay. Okay. So anybody who is having these benefics in the Dushtanas, they don't really need to be afraid of it. You can find, it may be difficult to search, but know that the fruit, patience gives a much better result than an instant the food. The more well cooked food, traditional food, it's better off rather than the what should I say, the fast food or the Kendra food. So we also can have an answer to it probably at a later date when the planets, the benefics are in Dushtanas. Am I right or
no? It's never nice to say. But if benefics are poorly placed, maybe the good people are not your best solution to life.
Okay.
So I get stories which are not so nice sometimes. Let us say somebody decided to go to a Gurukul, okay? And they were learning there. Like you have many people from the West, they have decided to come to Mayapur or Vrindavan and they're going to live their life, their kids are going to live there. Do you know how many cases I hear of sexual abuse in those ashrams because of those people who have gone there and thought they would have the ideal perfect life there? It's terrible. Now, just one question. They went to a Gurukul and there they suffered. So there must be an indication that maybe in their charts, the Guru, maybe Jupiter, maybe an Asura Guru Shukra was not nice to them, mistreated them. So you must also, life is very gray. You can have good people, ideal-wise, who do bad things, right? At least idealistically, they're supposed to teach you Sanskrit and Shastra and Puran, and then after hours, they're doing all sorts of mischief. It's possible that can be there, all right? So life is gray, But that doesn't mean that we should eulogize only the benefics. Okay? Now, it's a separate issue that that person has that karma for it because of something they did in the past life. Maybe they misused their own position in the same way. Separate issue. That's karma. But it could be the solution to the individual's chart may not be in the benefics, but it could be that the Papa Grahas are giving a solution. Okay?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Life is great. All options are there. We must accept it as astrologers. All right. To continue on the topic of the benefics, all right? Now, when these two join, the benefic one will become less auspicious. The malefic one, more auspicious. So let's try to read the results. So in Saravali, note Saravali, I'm using that reference. Sun and Mars conjoin, and the results are splendorous, valorous, dull-witted, strong, a liar, sinful, disposed to kill or torture and be fierce. So we have to understand, how did this happen? Okay? And we're doing step by step, we're doing baby steps, so we'll start there. Herein, Mars has become more auspicious. Why? If you read the list here, Sun is more auspicious than Mars. So as a result, Mars will become better and Sun will become worse. Saint blesses the sinner. So Mars has become more auspicious, giving splendor. Mars is somebody with a radiant body, red, glowing, copper color. Okay, the person will be very strong. Huge sattva strength is coming. Okay, valor. What do you need valor for? For going into war. Forceful disposition is also happening. Very forceful. That's why they're disposed to, push a bit more. Now, conversely, Sun has become weaker, making the person more susceptible to vices. Sun is the one who keeps your vices in check. If he falls, then you will be highly susceptible to vices. So when he's speaking about sinful behavior, being a liar, okay, that he's speaking of the Sun becoming weak.
Yes.
All right. Sinful behavior and being dull-witted. Now, dull-witted. Surya is supposed to represent the head, Karaka for the first house. So it could be the person is not applying themselves properly when Surya becomes weaker. All right.
And that splendorous and valorous part is that Mars taking away, taking the power of the Sun to make grow itself. Yes.
I would say in essence, Mars is just becoming very, very nice and Sun is becoming very not nice, weaker. That would be the basic way I would go about it to begin with. Then we can get into what is it of the good qualities Mars is getting, what is of the negative qualities Sun is getting. But first at the Karaka level, we have to understand that Sun is not becoming nice. And that Mars is becoming very nice in the chart. Okay? These results now, rider, huge rider, which means you cannot just read these principles from Saravali or other texts without some of this information. These results will not come to pass if Mars is exalted or in own sign, as then Mars will become more benefic and their conjunction would make Sun more auspicious. So the whole results will not be there and exactly more reversed if the Mars is exalted or in own sign. Because if Mars is exalted, he is like Vishnu. He's become Narasimha Deva. If Mars is in own sign, he's become Shiva, distinctly the Aghora Rupa. All right? And Shiva is so auspicious. Vishnu is so auspicious. And this Surya is still a graha in the sky. He can only become better in the association with the higher Devata.
Right.
It's like Surya going to meet Shiva or Vishnu. So then Surya becomes more auspicious. Mangal becomes more negative. Okay. Then the person instead becomes extremely intelligent, all right? Very clean-hearted, very pure, all right? Very strong bones, we would add, Surya, okay? So then the whole results are going to change because of that.
Beautiful.
This is a very important writer. And that means you cannot just read the shlokas from the Shastras without this in the background. You need to know who is more auspicious and who's more negative. So we need a different ranking suddenly. Okay? So I'm going to show that. I'm sorry you're about to say.
No, it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense when you're looking at the chart. But the fact is that you learn things by rote and you don't remember them because there's so many. sorry, but what you've taught here is something that will remain throughout without having to go back to the classics all the time. And then we can always say, okay, so if it's a not just a Sun Mars combination, but even if it's a Mars Saturn combination in any place, say in Capricorn, then we know that both of them are very strong. But why so and how so? Or say in even if this combination is happening in Aries, then we know that Saturn will definitely get stronger, irrespective. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
so?
And now this is now why. Because we know what the saint is blessing the sinner. Okay, simple logic. So let's try the next slide. And where did I do this already? Yes, here we are. So a little bit more. Okay, the conjunction of planets may depend on several other factors. So it's the same principle where I'm going to elaborate on some other results given in the Shastra. Same Saravali. When Sun and Moon join, the results are subjugated by young women. I'm wondering if this applies to women also. I'm wondering, because Moon is a woman no matter what I do in the charts. So never mind, we'll get to that. Sometimes modest, mostly immodest. Capable of deceit, very wealthy, and an expert in the sale of liquors. This is all Saravati. Yes. Now, this depends on a few more factors. Whenever you see Moon mentioned anywhere, you look very carefully, all right? Because it could be several results, and you can't see from the shloka why you should use which results. Here, the Moon has become weaker, hence the weakness towards young women is there.
Right.
Because Moon is better, and Sun is the sinner in this case. So Moon is reversing with the Sun, becoming less, and Sun is becoming stronger. In addition, the Sun has become stronger, implying lack of modesty or humility. Unless the Tithi is Shukla Pratipad.
Yes, because Moon is very weak in that case. So
it is still weak, but the thing is, in Pratipad, the person starts repenting. The sin has been done and the repentance starts. Because the sin happened in Chaturdashi and Amavasya. And in Pratipad, you are saying, wealth is prominent as the Sun has become more auspicious. The Sun is the one who catches all the food from the Rashi. All right? Rashi is where all the food is. That's where all the food is going to be from. Deceit is possible if the Tithi is Amavasya. Otherwise not.
Yeah.
As the sale of liquors during the Tithi of Krishna Chaturdashi. Otherwise not. Okay, so these three results depend on the Tithi. So the different results are happening because of the Tithi of the Moon in this case. And there are reasons for this. For example, Chaturdashi is the time when you get lured into sin, we say. Okay? Amavasya is when the sin has happened, when it's occurring. And so that's why the luring is happening during Chaturdashi, the actual sin during Amavasya, and then the repentance is happening in Pratipad. But, and the reason we need to talk about this is because when the Sun and Moon are so close to each other, there will be one of these three Tithis, potentially also Trayadashi, potentially also Dvitiya. But these three Tithi become very relevant. Okay. So the basis for this is coming through the shloka. So whenever you read the Moon and Sun together, be very careful because you need to know the Tithi background as well. All right? So now, again, to reverse all this that we just talked about, if the Sun is in own sign or exaltation, the results will be opposite. As the Sun would become more beneficial than the Moon, and then the Moon is benefiting, not the Sun.
Yes.
Okay? So that has to again be borne in mind. Otherwise, this will work as long as Sun is not in own sign or exaltation. Again, just like we did with Sun and Mars.
Now, if supposing Moon was in own sign or exaltation, and this combination
then it'll be the same, because then the saint is still Sun, still the Moon, and the sinner is still the Sun.
But Sun will benefit more. In such case, the
because the sinner is benefiting more. Yeah. So that's why the person will become even more wealthy. Okay. Yes, much more wealthy that Surya will become. Yeah. So that's how we'd go about it. Now, I'm going to swiftly take us to 3 planets conjoining before I start showing examples. Right. Because what I've said so far, we can make sense of in some way or the other. I'm just going to do this video feed again. I don't know how it looks at your end. Now, in 3 planets conjoining, it starts getting very interesting because we have now established this concept of a pair, you know? And now we have 2 against 1. Okay? So 2 grahas are ganging up on one other's graha. This is how 3 planets conjoining work. And to explain this, I will take one yoga and explain the details of it. So 3 planets conjoining cause 2 of the planets to impact the 3rd. An example of this is Saturn, Mercury, and Ketu conjoining, according to Yogini, causes impotency. Yogini is very careful with words, doesn't elaborate much, all right? And he says the person is impotent, but he doesn't explain exactly how the person is impotent. But this is also because Yogini's works are sutra, so they're very short. You can derive lots of information from them. It's this type of Sanskrit is where the many derivations of words can come from and principles. But to explain this, I have taken this in 3 steps to explain how each conjunction is impacting the 3rd graha. So, Saturn and Mercury conjoining causes Napunsaka yoga or Kliba yoga or eunuch yoga, if we were to translate it into English, which implies lack of gender. When this joins Ketu, the Karaka for in-laws and new family, yes, Ketu is the one who wants to make the Kula grow, Kulasya Unnitim, right? He wants to make the Kula grow. So when these 2 planets join Ketu, it can imply lack of marriage or children from marriage, because you're not having a gender coming out of the new family, all right? So that can be one reason why he says it is Kliba yoga. Now, let's try another one. Saturn and Ketu conjoining is considered Shraddha yoga, implying the time of death or burial. This Shraddha joining Mercury, the Karaka for work and education, implies inability to work or study. Breakage in studies, breakage in work, breakage in career, these kind of things. Okay? Now, let's try a 3rd combination. Mercury and Ketu conjoining causes broken bones. If we refer to Yogini, he says the bones are broken. The Prithvi Tattva of Mercury is broken by Ketu. Ketu doesn't like these Rajasic grahas. And when joining Saturn, the Karaka for muscles and service, the person can suffer from muscular dystrophy, spondylitis, or constant breakage of job service. Physically, it means the person is unable to work because the muscles are not able to perform. Okay? Thus, the singular meaning of the word impotency has 3 different implications in this case. And we are permitted to make this type of analysis for 3 planet yogas. Okay?
Can I just ask you a question here? Would would any one of these, with all these, be seen with respect to the degrees of the planets?
We have to take a some yoga sputa, but I'm going to give a clarification on that now. Okay? 3 planets conjoining continued. The conjunction of Mercury, Saturn, and Ketu can further be elaborated based on the benefic malefic disposition of the planets that we have done so far. All right? Now, thus, the yoga of Saturn and Mercury causing, Saturn is most malefic. Let's get that out of the way. On the list, Saturn is the worst. Now, among the others, Mercury is most benefic and Ketu is in the middle. Ketu is left out.
Yes.
Thus, the yoga of Saturn and Mercury causing the eunuch yoga is having the biggest impact on Ketu, showing the lack of continuation of family. So the real meaning we should derive from this is the Saturn and Mercury hitting Ketu.
Right.
We can have all 3 variations, but this should be the correct one.
Okay.
What if Ketu is exalted? Then it will all change. Then this won't work, because my ranking will become different.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And so who is the one who is conjoined and who is the one left out? The conjoining planets are the most benefic and most malefic.
Okay.
And the one left out is the one in the middle.
Right.
He is left out or she is left out. And is being impacted by the 2 others upon it.
Right.
That's how 3 planet conjunctions work.
And what about 4?
About 4, I'm sorry? You're asking about 4? We'll get to 4. We'll get to 4. That's a different type of yoga. All right? It works differently. Let me see. Okay, we'll get to 4 in a minute. So now we have to make a list now. So we'll try different combinations. It was easy when I just did Mercury, Ketu, Saturn. And I said, okay, these will impact each other. Now, Mercury, Ketu, Saturn joined in Scorpio. Now, Ketu, Namo, very strong. He's in own sign, he's saying Scorpio. So now the ranking is not Mercury, Ketu, Saturn. It is Ketu is the best. He's become Shiva. The remainder are still benefic, malefic. I'm sorry?
Saturn and Mercury.
Yeah, yes. Now, I will take Ketu on top. And then, because the remainder are not in own sign or exaltation or debility, I will take their natural order of beneficence. So Ketu on top, then Mercury, then Saturn. So now it's Ketu Saturn conjoining, and Mercury is in the middle of the sandwich.
Okay, okay.
So now we will go back and I will say, read the results of number 2. Saturn and Ketu conjoined is considered Shraddha Yoga, implying da 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 da. It's work. The real one that's suffering is Mercury. Work and education is suffering.
No, but you said you would say take the order of beneficence. So it's Ketu, Saturn, and then Ketu, Mercury, and Saturn. So what?
Yes. So Ketu on top, Saturn at the bottom.
Okay.
These are the ones having yoga.
Okay.
Because Ketu become the saint, Saturn is the sinner. They're having yoga. Mercury is sandwiched in between.
Okay.
That's right. Now this would be this yoga. Now, what if in this case, Ketu was in Taurus with Mercury and Saturn? Now it's debilitated, right? So now debility is the worst. It's Nietzsche, right? So now the new order becomes Mercury is still on top.
Right.
Ketu is now at the bottom. Who is the one in between? Saturn.
So the third one comes into picture.
So the one left out is Saturn, and Mercury and Ketu are having yoga.
Right.
Saint and Sin are having yoga. The one in between is the one in the sandwich. And then we take this result. That'll come to 4.
Right.
The beauty of this is, when you learn this, you only need to know what the 2-planet yoga does.
Yes.
You don't need to know what 3 planets do. You need to know what 2 planets do. Always you need to know what 2 planets do to know what the 3rd graha will experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That was 2-planet yogas, and 3-planet yogas.
So this was all about the 2 and the 3-planet conjunction, and keep watching out for this because we have the 4-planet conjunction coming up with the example slides. So until and unless you are perfect with the 2 and the 3, the 4th would probably just swipe over your head. Do keep watching and repeating this video so that you are very, very firm when you move on to the 4th planet. Till we meet again, have a good day, and thank you so much, Visti, for the knowledge that you've shared.